Many XRP holders are likely familiar with discussions surrounding Ripple potentially replacing or collaborating with Swift. This concept has been a recurring topic for years. Back in March of this year, Watcher Guru shared a notable post across multiple platforms, including X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and their Telegram group. The post suggested that Swift was nearing an agreement with Ripple to utilize XRP for cross-border payments, with billions of XRP held in escrow as liquidity reserves. For those interested, the original post is available for reference. On March 20th, 2025, we received an update directly from Swift regarding their efforts to enable a seamless payments experience for corporates worldwide. On further examination, we are excited to introduce our new services developed in collaboration with 25 leading banks and 26 corporates from various sectors and regions, aimed at enhancing the payment experience within corporate banking. These services focus on improving payments with a particular emphasis on cross-border transactions, which have been redesigned and redeveloped in partnership with some of the largest banks in the industry. Additionally, we are working towards standardizing payments through the implementation of ISO 2022, setting a new benchmark for efficiency and consistency in the payment ecosystem. So here's the scoop. This whole system is backed by a network of 8 technology partners. We don't know exactly who they are, mystery much, but there are 8 of them, which sounds promising. Now, moving on, the big deal here is ISO 2022. The goal is to create a single standard for banks and corporates that makes cross-border payments smoother and more efficient. Think faster payments, better data, and easier reconciliation. Pretty exciting, right? What makes this even cooler is that ISO 2022 also paves the way for integrating cutting-edge tech like blockchain and DLT. That's a game changer. And then there's Swift, a monster network of 11,000 banks, basically one of the largest financial networks on the planet. They're making some really interesting moves here. Oh, and on the same day all this drops, Watcher Guru's account gets hacked, mentioning something about Swift and Ripple nearing a deal. Spicy, right? But hold up. Does this confirm Swift is officially working with Ripple? Nope, not at all. Still, it's something worth keeping an eye on. Let's dive into something Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said recently. While it's not brand new, I think it's worth revisiting and adding a bit more context to show how all of this fits together. But before we get into it, I want to share a quick video clip. The clip features a former Ripple employee, not Anderson, but Miguel. He breaks down the difference between what Ripple, the company, is working on with cross-border payments and how XRP plays a role in that process. There's often confusion here, so let's clear it up. Ripple is aiming to replace Swift as a system for cross-border payments, while XRP is used as a bridge asset enabling instant settlement. It's a key distinction that helps explain how Ripple and XRP work together. The XRPL isn't trying to compete with Swift, and neither is XRP. In fact, other payment systems could also use XRP for instant settlements if they wanted to. It's not exclusive to Ripple. That's the beauty of open source software. In theory, even Swift could use XRP as a bridge asset if they decided to. So let's listen to this clip.
Look, I don't know if you guys noticed, like I use XRP and Ripple very differently, right? I never call XRP Ripple because it gets really confusing. The company, the asset, it's all over the place. So the company, that enterprise software that it's building is a replacement for Swift today, right? And Swift is the way that banks send money across the world today. It's the protocol for that. So we are definitely trying to replace that protocol. Right? That's not what XRP is trying to do. Right? XRP is trying to be a complement to fiat, sending money across borders, if you will, fiat to fiat. So it's trying to be a bridge.
Like facilitate settlements.
It'll facilitate settlements.
This gives us a quick breakdown of how the two are different, and honestly, it's pretty exciting stuff. Here's why. No matter what Ripple does, Swift could still tap into XRP and the XRP at any time. With finance and fiat currencies going more digital every day, it just makes sense. Swift using XRP and the XRP as a bridge currency between stable coins, CBDCs, tokenized assets, you name it, feels more and more like a real Now, here's the big update everyone's been buzzing about over the past few days. This is from Good Morning Crypto, and it's all about XRP. They're saying XRP could capture 14% of Swift's global volume, which would mean a massive $700 billion, 0 cents, moving through the ledger every single day. Pretty wild, right? Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse even mentioned that within the next 5 years, XRP could hit that 14% mark. That's 2.8% growth per year just from utility alone. And that doesn't even factor in what happens when it's paired with Bitcoin. XRP isn't just sitting back. it's gearing up for something big. There's also a video clip floating around with this info. While I'm not sharing it here, it has music. It's worth checking out.
5 years, yeah. So, I mean,
It's for a dumb reason.
Swift today, there's two ways to think about Swift. There's the messaging, there's liquidity. And liquidity is owned by the banks. I think less about the messaging and more about liquidity. Because if you're driving all the liquidity, that's good for XRP. Anyway, so I'll say 5 years, 14%.
All right, so 14%, huh? That's the number being thrown around here. But the big focus isn't just on the percentage, it's on liquidity. Ripple's really zeroing in on liquidity, not so much on messaging. Why? Well, because Swift already sorted out the messaging side of things. With ISO 2022 in place, financial messages now come with way richer data. So that part of the equation is pretty much taken care of. Now back to this 14%, kind of a weird number, right? I mean, why not 10 or 15%? Usually people stick to nice round numbers, but here we are with 14%. Strange, but hey, let's roll with it. If XRP were to handle 14% of Swift's transaction volume, it could process a massive 4.2 trillion per year. Yep, trillion with a T. The recent comments from Ripple's leadership about XRP's potential role in global finance have definitely got people talking. XRP's potential is making waves again, and the numbers are huge. According to a new analysis powered by XAI as a Grok, even capturing a small slice of Swift's transaction volume could push XRP into the trillions. Exciting, right? At the recent XRP Ledger Apex event, my Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, shared an optimistic outlook for the XRP Ledger. He predicted that within 5 years, XRP and the XRPL could take on up to 14% of Swift's total transaction volume. Garlinghouse also highlighted a key point. When it comes to cross-border payments, liquidity matters more than just messaging. While Swift focuses on moving money between countries, it's not just about sending information, it's about actually moving value. This sparked some serious excitement in the XRP community, fueling new discussions and speculation. For context, Swift handles a staggering 150 trillion in transaction volume every year. 14% translates to about 21 trillion a year, or around 58 billion in daily volume. On average, that's 2.8% per year, or roughly 4.2 trillion annually over 5 years. With numbers this huge, it's no wonder an individual known as XRP Millionaire couldn't resist poking fun at skeptics who once doubted XRP's potential to even hit $8.00. He joked that maybe XRP should be priced at $8.00 with a few extra zeros added for good measure. Right now, XRP is trading at around $2.24 and hasn't reached its all-time high in over 7 years. But with its network potentially capable of handling multi-trillion-dollar flows, believers in XRP are feeling more confident than ever about higher price prediction. Another analysis, taking into account growing institutional interests and speculative demand, suggests XRP could climb to between $18.00 and $24.00. Those numbers are pretty exciting, but some are encouraging us to step back and look at the bigger picture. In a follow-up discussion, XRP Millionaire posed an interesting question to the community. If XRP manages to capture 14% of Swift transaction volume, who will handle the other 86%? It's a great point that sheds light on the competitive landscape, where blockchain projects like XRP are already making waves through real-world partnerships with Swift. Ripple seems poised to shake up the payment industry in a big way and fast. For context, Swift currently handles up to 1,000 transactions per second. The Ripple network can handle up to 1,500 transactions per second, which is pretty impressive. For comparison, Swift manages up to 1,000 TPS, but Ripple takes it a step further. It's one of the few players in the space that's focused on collaboration rather than competition, which is refreshing to see. Do we need to replace systems like Swift entirely? Not necessarily. Ripple seems open to working with existing systems, and that's part of what makes it so adaptable. In a world where stablecoins are gaining traction, we're seeing exciting opportunities for innovation. Even Circle's co-founder and CEO recently said that stablecoins are the highest utility form of money ever created. While we're not quite at the iPhone moment for digital money yet, it's definitely on the horizon, and Ripple is helping pave the way. Stablecoins just keep proving their dominance, don't they? 2025 is already being called the year of stablecoins, and the data backs it up. According to Block Pro research for Coinbase, stablecoin transfer volumes hit record highs. 719 billion in December 2024 and 717 billion in April this year. From remittances to payroll, stablecoins are becoming a key player in real-world finance. The on-chain future isn't coming, it's here. And there's more happening. Ripple X Dev recently highlighted all the stablecoins on the XRP ledger, showing just how quickly this space is evolving. As we look ahead to the future, it's clear that Swift is starting to gear up for what's coming. They're preparing to be a part of the shift, and that makes sense. But let's talk about where things are really heading. If FX markets are moving on chain and payments are starting to follow, the focus is on making these experiences as seamless, efficient, and easy as possible for everyone, whether it's companies, individuals, or anyone using payment tech. The goal is simple: make the process better by tapping into something highly liquid, super interoperable, and capable of connecting and settling transactions between currencies effortlessly. And that's where DLT comes in. More specifically, that's where XRP shines. Ripple is essentially building an on-chain FX market using the XRP ledger with stablecoins at its core, and that vision is quickly becoming a reality. Meanwhile, Swift, well, they're still not working with stablecoins on their network. The fact that they can now easily tap into these networks, especially with recent advancements, means they can just plug and play with blockchain. That really shows us it's not so far-fetched to imagine XRP settling 14% of the transaction volume currently handled by Swift in the next 5 years. It's not some wild, out-of-this-world idea. It's actually pretty realistic. Think about how much has changed with crypto in just the past 5 years. Now imagine the next 5. Things are moving faster than ever before. Stablecoins, for example, have become a huge part of the financial system. So much so that they now make up over 1% of the M2 money supply. And guess what? This is just the beginning. I believe that networks like Swift will start using blockchain and DLT in the near future. Give it another 5 years. By then, crypto is going to be completely mainstream. It'll be everywhere. I also think some of the major players like the XRP ledger and Ripple are going to grow massively, 10 times, maybe even 100 times bigger. They just keep getting adopted, expanding, and building connections with some of the biggest names in the world. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There's plenty more free content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.